I decided to eat like plant-based tennis champion Novak Djokovic for a day. Now, he starts his day with a warm glass of lemon water. That's built in to start his digestion. Now, according to everything I can find, he eats breakfast and then does stretching to start his day, but I decided to go for a quick run. I normally don't eat breakfast, and I did yoga last night and really just didn't want to overdo it. Now, like I said, I don't eat breakfast, I commonly fast, but Novak eats a bowl of gluten-free oats. Now, I don't cook these very often, but I figured I might as well throw them into a rice cooker so I can just walk away, get some things done, and it ended up making a mess and cooked them really weird, kind of like a little cake on the bottom. Now, I just added a little bit of water, mixed them up, added a pinch of salt, and tossed them into a bowl. I felt this looked pretty good. Now, I tossed on some sunflower seeds, and then he eats them with cranberries or raisins. I'm going to use some cranberries, chop them up with some almonds, and a touch of maple syrup. Everything I could find, this looks like this is one of his breakfasts. Nothing says exactly how much he eats, but since he eats throughout the day, I was trying to keep my servings fairly small. But this was pretty good. Kind of filled me up for breakfast. Now, he also has a mid-morning snack. It does say if needed. I actually lost kind of track of time, and around 11 o'clock, I was actually starting to think about lunch, but I figured I would jump on this mid-morning snack, which it's just an avocado and some gluten-free crackers. My avocado wasn't really that ripe, so I added a little bit of lemon and some salt. Just mixed it up and just had them on the crackers, and that was actually really good. I really enjoyed that. These gluten-free crackers are pretty tasty, actually. Now, apparently after a pretty bad loss, Djokovic was feeling out of breath. He didn't feel really great physically, and he spoke with a nutritionist and some doctors, and they talked him into going gluten-free. Now, after he ate gluten-free, he said he felt really great, and then he decided to make even more changes to his diet and tuned and tweaked it until eventually he went fully plant-based, and this is his diet. Now, for lunch, Djokovic eats a mixed green salad with a gluten-free pasta primavera. Now, I found a recipe similar to what I believe he does, so let's get rolling. Now, first things first, I'm going to wash my mixed greens, and I'm just going to toss those into a bowl with some cold water and about a tablespoon of vinegar. This helps kill any bacteria that might be on there. Now, I know it's not 100%, but it's like 90% effective from what I've read, and that's pretty good when getting rid of bacteria. Now, while that's just soaking, I'm going to make my dressing, which is just going to be a simple lemon, pepper, kind of Dijon dressing that I'm going to make, something really light. All it is about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, half of that lemon left over from this morning, so I'm going to squeeze that in with about a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, some black pepper, a little pinch of salt, and we're going to just shake that up. And this comes out pretty good. Now, this is going to be for lunch and for dinner. He has salads twice in the day. So we're just going to toss that in the fridge, let that sit aside while we start cooking our pasta. He uses a gluten-free pasta that's like a rice pasta. That's what I have here. This is like a rice and corn pasta. I'm going to get that boiling. It cooks just like any regular pasta. Boiling water, salted, about 8 to 10 minutes, which is actually plenty of time for me to tell you about today's sponsor.
So I'm still getting a load of comments from people noticing how much weight I've lost, around 100 pounds. And that's all thanks to today's sponsor, Noom Weight. Noom Weight is a proven long-term solution to weight management that only takes a few minutes a day. When people ask me how I lost weight, I always start by saying Noom. But I always tell people there's a lot of little changes over time. It just wasn't one specific thing or like one trick. That's what everybody's looking for. I had to change my mindset about my health, what I eat, and how much I move. Since starting Noom, I have never felt better. Noom promotes sustainable results by using gold standard psychological methodologies. It is a different approach to weight management, with support of individual and or group coaches, which you can choose if that works for you, along with lessons or by being uplifted by other community members. With Noom, you will always find ways to feel supported for the ups and downs of your health journey. And all foods are welcome on Noom. So gang, it's a new year, which deserves a new you. Click the link in the description to take a free Noom evaluation and redeem your free 14-day trial. Noom, thanks for sponsoring today's video and for seriously changing my life.
And we're back. Now, for this primavera, I'm going to be using some summer squash, zucchini, asparagus, and sun-dried tomatoes. To get this cooking, we're just going to toss a pan on the stove with a bit of olive oil, get that nice and hot, chop up the asparagus, toss that in. I'm going to slice up the zucchini and squash. Once the asparagus is cooked through, that's going to be the hardest vegetable. I'm going to toss in the squash and zucchini. Now, I also wanted to add some garlic. Nothing I saw of his had garlic on it, but I felt like that would help the flavor of this a little bit. Once the zucchini and squash is cooked through, I'm going to add the garlic, add in some of those sun-dried tomatoes, cook that down until we got a little bit of browning on these, and then we're just going to toss in the pasta and just toss it around, let that cook. I'm going to add a little bit more black pepper and then plate this. Now, I made enough for Monica and I to have lunch, but for the salad, we're just going to strain that out, toss it into a bowl. I'm going to mix it with some of the dressing. You could see not that much, maybe a teaspoon total of that dressing. Now for the pasta, same thing. We're just going to toss it into a bowl. Now it does say that he does have like an optional vegan vegan cheese. It doesn't say which vegan cheese, but I've melted the Baby Bell vegan cheeses over pasta before, and it comes out really good. So I'm going to do just that. I'm just going to shred about half of a Baby Bell onto one of these pastas, shred the other half onto Monica's, and boom, this is lunch.
So I'll be honest, I'm not like a big salad person, and this all looks good. The salad is awesome. I think that came out really good. The dressing came out really good. It's really light. I can see myself eating this all of the time. Now, as far as the pasta primavera is really not my thing. The gluten-free noodles are pretty good. I'm actually pretty surprised. And all in all, this came out tasting, it's pretty tasty. The sun-dried tomatoes add a lot of flavor. The zucchini and squash really have like a nice texture to them. Kind of almost gives it almost like they're soft enough to where it gives it like a saucy kind of element. It's pretty nice. I'm surprised. This is awesome. I could see this being a lunch. I can do this fairly often. Here, did you try the pasta yet?
Yeah, it's good. I really like it. I was expecting this to taste different because it's gluten-free, but it just tastes like regular pasta. And I love the flavor.
So it's now mid-afternoon and Djokovic isn't done snacking. For a post-lunch snack, he commonly has an apple with a bit of cashew butter. Now, I thought I had cashew butter in the pantry, but I ended up having almond butter. I know it's different and has a bit more calories, but they both have benefits, so I'm just gonna roll with it. I never really dip my apples in anything. I just eat them whole. Weird, right? But wow, I'm going to be doing this a lot more. This was super tasty. I really liked it. And so far, I'm feeling pretty light today, even with all of these snacks. Really good. Now for dinner, we're going to be making a carrot soup. First, we need a pot on the heat with some olive oil. I'm going to chop about half of an onion and toss it in, then roughly chop about 5 or 6 cloves of garlic, toss that in. Now, I'm going to use about a thumb-sized piece of ginger and just peel and chop, roughly chop. This is all roughly chopped because it's going to get blended later on. Now, at this point, we need about a dozen washed carrots. Now, for these, I'm just going to trim off the ends, slice them in the discs, toss them in, and let them cook down for just a few minutes before adding our vegetable broth. We're going to use about 2.5 cups of vegetable broth and about 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Now just add that into the pot, stir everything around, bring it to a boil, set the temp to low, cover it, and let it simmer for about a half an hour. Now I got a little impatient and started blending it about 20 minutes in. Now I started with the immersion blender, but I quickly realized this wasn't going to get it as smooth as I wanted, or it would have just taken forever. So I brought out the big guns. We're just going to blend this up incredibly smooth. Now before I tossed it in the blender, I was able to give it a taste and I seasoned it with some salt and pepper. Now to make this nice and creamy, we're going to add about a cup and a half of coconut milk to this. We're just going to blend this really smooth, incredibly smooth. And now let's get our salad ready. So we're just going to use the same mixed greens as earlier. I'm going to toss about a teaspoon of the dressing into the salad, shake it up, plate that into a bowl, and we're going to add about half of a sliced avocado into each bowl. Monica is going to have dinner with me here. And now to plate up our soup, we're just going to toss that into a bowl with a little teaspoon of some extra coconut milk, and boom, this looks amazing. Like I said earlier, I'm not a big salad person, but that salad was really good, and adding the avocado I think is going to be awesome. And this soup, I've already given it little bites, and I'm telling you, it tastes incredible. I cannot wait to see what Monica has to say.
Cheers! So this is the same salad as earlier, except for dinner, he adds an avocado to it.
Okay.
That's the only difference. I don't know, but it is good.
It's a good salad. Well, the dressing is very refreshing, and with the avocado, because I didn't have the avocado before when I ate it, it feels a lot more crisp and refreshing.
Yeah, the avocado definitely like adds a bit to it, you know?
Gives it a little bit of sunshine.
Yeah, I like that, a little bit of sunshine. Did you want to finish your salad before we moved on to the soup? Or?
No.
I'll be honest, I already tried this so I could adjust for seasonings and everything like that. This is awesome. I can't wait for you to tell me what you think. Okay, cheers.
Cheers. Oh, I love this.
Right? Isn't that good?
Yeah, it feels so warm and comforting.
Yeah, okay.
It's very soothing.
Yeah, give it your rundown. You're real good at that.
I know I've said this about something else, but it feels like a warm hug. Really cozy. Like I put on like my new cozy socks and go under a blanket.
It's good. Super tasty. There is like a kind of a bite. There's like a
Is that
not
the apple
spiciness.
cider?
No, the bite I think is the ginger. It is the ginger.
Oh yeah, there is a little bit of like
Yeah.
warmth on my tongue as I'm eating it, but not like a spicy, but just kind of like a heat.
Yeah, there's a heat. There is a heat there. But I mean, yeah, there's no like heavy starches or anything like that.
Yeah, this could definitely fill me up.
This would fill me up along with the salad. I mean, this has been a pretty good day. I really enjoyed all of the desserts. I had like apple with almond butter earlier. That was
that
really
sounds
good.
delicious.
Like, I am gonna start doing that all the time
Okay.
now. That was good. The gluten-free chips, the gluten-free crackers.
Those were so good.
You really liked those.
Yeah.
I had it with a bit of avocado on it, and that was pretty good.
I'm a big fan of the those Rice Crisp type of things.
Yeah.
And lately, like today was a big wake-up call because we had the gluten-free pasta and those chips, and I had no idea I liked gluten-free food. Like, a lot of people are just like, oh, I've got to eat gluten-free, but like I'm kind of like, I'm going to eat gluten-free.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, I mean, so the whole day being gluten-free entirely is definitely a shift for us. We have gluten every day of some sort. Some sort, you know, there's gonna be some sort of gluten.
Now, is this tennis player gluten-free, or does he?
Yes,
just
he's
eat
100% he's 100% gluten-free.
Is that like medically, or he just does it?
Medically.
Okay.
They found out medically that he's gluten-free.
Okay.
But he said that once he switched, he felt amazing.
Yeah.
I will say I felt lighter. I haven't felt full at any points during the day. There's been no like bloating at any points during the day.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of energy throughout the day. So all positives. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I also feel good.
So here we go. Well, this is our dinner. This is our dinner. Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.